So hi guys, this is Ashwini here, and today we have Anna with us. Okay, and she has just finished her masters from UK. So let's hear from Anna without any further delay. So hi Anna, it's great to have you here today.
So I did my master's from King's College London. My master's is in international peace and security. I particularly specialize in counterterrorism and counterterrorism and geopolitics of South Asia. My experience at King's College has been really, really good. Like, I cannot find enough words to describe how fulfilling the experience has been. So if you're thinking of joining a foreign university, I'd say you should not give it a second thought and you should actually go for it, because the kind of exposure that you get at universities here. I did my undergraduate in Delhi, so I have experienced both sides. The kind of exposure that you get at universities here, the kind of opportunities that you get here, it's you don't really get the same opportunities back home in India. And the standard of education is also higher here than it is back in India. So I would suggest that you should definitely go for a university abroad, whichever university you like, that is.
So could you please tell us more about your program? What's the name of your program and what's the name of your specialization?
So my master's is in international peace and security. So the core module was in law and politics and international society. Other modules were all optional for us. So we were offered like 100 modules and we had to choose like whatever we wish we could choose. So you could choose anything that you wanted to specialize in. I specialized in terrorism and counterterrorism. So we studied about like the motivations behind terrorism and what kind of counterterrorism strategies are actually efficient, what doesn't work, what works, so the pros and cons of that. I wrote my master's thesis also on the adaptability of terrorist groups. So I did a comparison between Lashkar-e-Taiba and Hezbollah for that. So yeah, that's what I specialize in.
Okay. So, where exactly this course is offered in other universities except the King's College London? So is this offered in other universities as well?
Yeah, sure it is, but not a lot of universities offer it. It's not a very popular course. So the department that offers it at King's College London, it's the Department of War Studies. It's one of the only war studies department in the world. So it's a very unique department of King's. The war study students consider themselves to be very special at King's, but a lot of universities in the UK I know do offer similar courses. I know LSE does offer international security as well. I think Oxford offers something very similar to it, but not like the exact same thing. It's most of the times it's the same course with different words. So you might think the content is the same, but it's just the title of the course is a little different. It might be international security, sometimes it's just international peace, but it's all the content of the programs are quite similar. So I'd say a lot of universities do offer it here in the UK.
So before going further, I want to understand what was your motivation behind to pursue this course?
I did my undergrad in political science at Lady Shri Ram College in Delhi. So when I was studying political science, it was a very broad degree. So we had a lot to do with political theory, a lot of Hindu politics, Muslim politics. But what attracted me most in that was the modules that we did on terrorism and counterterrorism. So I was inclined towards that. I knew it in my undergrad degree. So that's why I chose this program, because it gave me a lot of leeway to not be confined by a particular module, but like explore my own options. Because at King's, in my master's program, I designed my own degree somehow, because like there's only one module that's compulsory for you, but the other modules you can choose whatever you want. So it's a very customized process. It's the experience is very tailor-made to what you want to study. So that is particularly why I chose this program.
Okay, nice. So how long is this program for? What's the
It was a
duration of
one-year
this?
degree. I started last fall and I finished in like August of 2020.
Nice. And how is the structure? Is this like 2 semester course and basically one
It is
semester
two
plus monthly?
semesters. For masters here is it's usually you have the winter semester. So I started in September and I finished with my first semester in December. Then you have a semester from January to March, and March onwards we have our thesis period. For like master students have a thesis period like 3 to 4 months to write your thesis. That's a 15,000 word thesis. So you get like 4 months to write that. You get a supervisor who can like discuss your topic and any queries, any problems, limitations of the dissertation. So it's 2 semesters with a thesis period. So mostly like you could say 3 semesters, but the third one is independent study. You don't have to go to university and attend classes. So it's 2 semesters of physical learning, and the third one is just you have to work on yourself.
Okay. So is there any flexibility to do an internship as well? Like let's suppose somebody doesn't want to do a thesis. So is there any possibility they can do an internship in a company
Not
outside the
really. You have to,
campus?
if that's something that you're looking for, then you will have to make sure that before you apply for the program, that they will be okay with that. But most universities here in the UK, for masters specifically, you need to write a thesis, because masters, it's like, it's an equivalency that if you don't write the thesis, then you're really not a master's student. So I would say that you couldn't do an internship for the third semester. You'll have to write the thesis. But if that's something that somebody's specifically looking for, then I'm pretty sure universities in other countries might offer something like that. But I'm not very aware of that.
Okay, interesting. So what is the job? What are the job opportunities after finishing up this course? And
A lot of, no,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
What are the job opportunities after this course, and basically what kind of like profile that you can get after this course?
So for the job opportunities, mostly people look to go into research after doing a very subjective degree like this. So most of my colleagues I know are going for think tanks and political organizations, non-profit groups. So if you think that that's not something that you would want to work in, then I would suggest that something similar to this would not be your forte. But what we look for is to work in a think tank, conduct a lot of research, and support policy proposals and support government decisions. So the job prospects are usually in these fields. But a lot of people also do go to consultancies after getting a degree in like international security. You could possibly join a consultancy that like offers risk analysis or like political risk, that you could possibly get a job in that field as well. But mostly people are looking for jobs in think tanks or non-profit groups or organizations working for like a specific agenda, because that's usually what is corresponding to my degree and others pursuing the same degree. So for the job prospects, I would say that these are the kind of jobs that you would get. For the profile, I would say that when you do a degree like this, how it contributes to your profile is, first of all, in universities in the UK, you have a lot of simulations. So for example, when we have a simulation in class, we represent countries, and we try to solve a crisis or like try to discuss a war. So I would suggest the profile, how it adds to your profile is you get a lot of communication. Your interpersonal communication skills are really enhanced. So you could possibly even go into like something communication based. I know a lot of people after doing this degree have gone into communication consultancies as well. So that is also something that you could do. But otherwise, for your profile, when you're in the UK or you're in a big country, you can obviously do more internships here, because they have a lot of opportunities. The career portals for these universities they give you very good exposure. So you could get a really good internship, and most internships here are paid as well. So you don't feel like you're just working and not being paid, because I know a lot of students are very concerned by not getting paid, because of course you're living in a foreign country and it would be nice to have some extra money. But most internships here are paid as well. So you could obviously get a good internship and do that alongside your degree. So for your profile, it's really an independent thing on how you want to build it. So I did a couple of internships when I was in the UK. But a lot of people do look for like graduates to fulfill internship roles. So I think that is a very good opportunity to anybody who might be looking to intern at like a think tank. So I interned at a think tank in February. So they were looking for like graduate students who would fulfill the role, conduct research for them. So I think that is a really good thing for your profile.
Nice. So what's the batch size of your program?
We were 30 students.
30 students. And could you please describe more like what type of people, like are those from different or from which countries as well? Any ideas?
So for the war studies department, like I mentioned before, all my classmates were from European countries. A lot of people were from France, a lot of people from Germany, a lot of people from Central Europe. I was the only Asian kid in my class. So it's most programs that are international relations related, they are usually fulfilled by European students. But more popular courses in King specifically are related to business, economics, and sciences. A lot of Asian students do go for courses like that in the UK. But mostly for my department as a whole, we have mostly European students.
Nice, nice. So basically, what do you like the best about this program that basically is nothing comparable to this program?
Um, the exposure, like I said before, it's all about the exposure. The faculty at King's for my program is really good. So the teachers that I mingled with, the professors that I came in contact with, I got some personal advice from them, career related advice that I don't think I would have gotten anywhere. So because they're very accessible, you can talk to them, you can approach them very easily about anything that you would like to discuss, any research that you're conducting. I would say that the best part of the degree was how supportive the professors have been for each and every minute detail that you might be concerned of. That was the best part for me, other than the content of the program, obviously.
Nice, nice. So tell me more about your profile. What was your profile before applying to this course?
Before applying to the course, I did my class 11 and 12. I was in boarding school, so I went to Mayo, and I actually was one of the country toppers for my board as well. So I had a strong profile for that. But I was supposed to go to Canada to do my undergrad, but I didn't end up going for some reason. I went to Delhi University. I went to Lady Shri Ram College. I did my undergrad. I did my bachelor's in political science. So I have been occupied with that for 3 years before this. When I was in Delhi, I actually did even volunteer at this non-profit organization called Youth for Peace International. So with them, we underwent a lot of training to we did a lot of simulations where we would discuss problems and use conflict resolution skills, negotiation skills. So with my undergrad, I also interned with them. And in Delhi University, you also have to be a part of the National Service Scheme, so the NSS. So you have to be a part of an organization, like a non-profit organization, to help your community. So I was a part of an organization called Basta. We provided material to women in New Delhi, and they made bags and handbags, and we conducted a lot of collection drives to collect material, and we would sell products for them and raise funds for them. So I was also involved with that. But yeah, that's what I was doing before I came to King's.
So did you had any work experience also before coming to Kings, or no work experience?
None at all.
None at all. So you just had 3 years of your bachelor's degree and then master's degree after that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So can you tell more about what are the exams that you gave for this program?
I didn't have any exams.
No GRE, no TOEFL or IELTS?
I'm so sorry. I misunderstood your question. I thought for the program, I just did the IELTS.
IELTS, okay. And what was your score in IELTS?
8.5.
8.5. Nice. So what are the colleges basically that you considered when you applied for this particular course?
I didn't apply to a lot of schools because a lot of schools were not offering the program that I was looking for. I applied to University of Sussex, I applied to King's, I applied to University of Warwick, and I applied to LSE.
So all UK?
But, yeah, all in the UK. Because I specifically wanted to come to the UK, so I just applied to these 4 schools. But okay. I know a lot of students who do apply for a lot more schools to keep the options open. But I didn't have a lot of backup options because my degree is not very popular. So I had to restrict myself and only opt for those universities that were offering something very similar to what I wanted to study.
Okay. Any particular reason behind UK, or you just want to like personal reasons that you wanted to come to UK?
Nothing as such. I knew that I didn't want to go to the US for some reason. So I was like, oh, then I'll just go to the UK. But nothing in specific that attracted me to the UK. I just thought it would be good to study in UK. So
Okay. So any difficulties that you faced while applying for this course?
not really. The application process was very simple. There's just an online application that you need to fill out, and there's a couple of documents that you need to provide them with. For me, the only limitation that was collecting the documents from my university in Delhi, because the administration is very inefficient. So getting them to process my documents, that actually took a very long time for me. So that was the only inconvenience that I had during applying, but nothing on behalf of the university. So the application procedure was very simplified. Everything was very accessible. You could contact them with any queries and it would get resolved in like a couple of days. So the only inconvenience was actually on my behalf, because I had to deal with the administration office at LSR, and they were very slow. So getting the documents, so anybody who's applying for like the next year, they should be aware of the fact that you should be collecting these documents way beforehand so that you can quickly apply, because most programs fill out on a first come first basis. So they keep sending out their offers. They're not going to wait for all applications to come in. So you don't want to miss your chance of getting admitted. So I would suggest just make sure you have a list of documents that you need and you compile them beforehand. That was the only problem that I faced.
So do you remember when did you apply for this course? Any particular time of the year?
Yeah, I applied for this course in October, like end of October. And I got my admission letter in January.
January, and you started then September of next year.
I started in September, yeah.
Nice. How about how are the funding opportunities for this course? Any university specific scholarships or government based scholarships also? Do you know about those?
For anybody who is looking to get a scholarship here in the UK, it's really, really difficult for international students to get funded by the government. So I know in the first place, the application process for scholarships it's extremely long. It's a very hectic process. It's a whole other application that you need to go through. And it's a really difficult procedure as well. And the chances of getting a scholarship from a university in the UK, it's very difficult. But I know that back home in India, a lot of government scholarships do fund graduate students to do masters. So if anybody is looking to get funded, you should keep both options open and even look for government scholarships in India as well. And of course, go through the application process here as well. I wouldn't say that don't do it. There's obviously a good chance that you might get the funding, but just keep your options open. I know I did not apply for any funding. I self-funded my course, so I'm not very familiar as to all the details and all the intricacies of the scholarship procedure, but I know a lot of people who did go through scholarships in the UK. It is difficult, but it's not impossible. Of course, you can get funded.
Interesting. And how much is the fee for this course?
It was £25,000
for the entire year.
For the entire year.
Okay, interesting. So if suppose somebody is applying for this type of course, what is your recommendation for them?
I would say that something that is very personal, nothing very external, that make sure when you go for a master's program, any master's program, not even my program, any master's, you should know for a fact that this is what you're interested in. Because you don't want to go to another country and invest a lot of money and do your master's and eventually realize that you're not actually interested in it. So if you think you need more time to explore your options, you could obviously take a gap year after your undergrad and explore your options and see what you're actually inclined towards. But before going into a master's degree, just know that this is what you want to study, because after this you'll get job prospects and all of those opportunities will open for you only once you're sure and thorough that this is the degree that you want to do. That is the only advice that I would give to anybody who's applying for any master's program. Just be sure that this is what you want to do.
Yeah, nice. So how did you come to know that okay, you wanna do only in this, you wanna do your masters or higher education only in this field? Is there any story linked behind this?
Not really. When I knew that I was looking to get a master's degree, I started exploring a lot of options. Most universities here have a lot of options, a lot of degrees. So when you do go through the list of programs, there is something specific that will attract you about each degree probably. But overall, you should know that the whole program should be appealing to your needs. Only then you should go for that. So this program as a whole really suited what I wanted to study, because all the modules that I studied were optional. So nothing to me was very restricting. So that is why I chose this degree, because only one of the modules was a mandatory module, and that was something very broad. But
Mhm.
all the specializations I could choose them for myself. So that is why I went for this program, because I could like tailor the degree for my own like interests and my inclinations.
Yeah, so that's good. So I think we have covered almost all the questions, and if you would like to add anything from your side, feel free to add. Otherwise,
I
if
would say that don't it, people really get intimidated by the process of applying to foreign universities, but it's actually not a very difficult process. Just take it one step at a time and just make sure that you are prepared on your behalf before you actually start the application. That's the only advice that I would give to anybody who's applying for a master's or even for an undergraduate degree, because my brother is now going to apply for his undergrad. So he's also going through the same process as all the other students out there, and he's very worried about the fact that when should I be taking the IELTS exam, what kind of grades do I need to have, all of that. But I would say that just put in all the effort on your behalf and it'll come to you. Just don't stress about it too much.
thank you so much, Anahad, and I hope this is really, really useful for our viewers. And if they have any questions, then they can basically put a comment on the YouTube section, and then they can reach out to you directly as well. Thank you so much, Anahad, for taking out your time today.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.